So that finishes then Liverpool 3, Athletic Club 2. For more on this, let's welcome in, shall we, Gab Marcotti, and fresh from his knee surgery. Let's just how are you doing, Robbo? You're looking a bit pale. Is everything okay?
Well, I've been out for 2.5 weeks. I'm bound to be a bit pale, but it's all going very well at the moment. Thank you very much, Dan.
That's good. We really do have the two contrasts with Gab and Robbo for the show. So, Stevie, what did we learn from that Liverpool game?
Not too much, but, you know, with Ekitike, if your signers are not scoring goals but they're setting people up, then that's fine. Nice to see Mo Salah scoring as well. I think probably they ran out of steam after about an hour, because before that they were pretty sharp, certainly the way they went after Bilbao. They went at them at pace often, so that's a good sign. But again, tough to really hang your hat on anything. Again, it gets people minutes on the field. As I said, they got 2 weeks before the first game of the season, and they did drop off after an hour. So that just tells them where they are in terms of the fitness.
How was Florian Wirtz?
He was okay. I mean, I'd like to see a little bit more in the final third from him. But as I said, you've still got another 2 weeks to go, and somebody like him, when they're at the sharpest, not just with their legs but with their brain, that's when you'll see him doing damage, particularly in the final third.
You're right, you seem a bit down.
No, it's pre-season. I listened to you lot last night. I mean, to be honest. I mean, Shaka and him going at it. Shaka was right, but he was right as well.
Right.
You know, it's pre-season, guys. Calm down.
OK, all right, there we go. Robbo, what was your takeaway from this? And don't say it was pre-season.
No, I think there's some good things from Liverpool's point of view. The speed in which they played that first hour, the combination between Frimpong and Mo Salah down the right-hand side. I was impressed with Szoboszlai in midfield, the way he rotated positions at times with Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz came a little bit too deep for my liking, and Ekitike obviously made the goal, as Stevie just said, with that bit of pace, change of pace, went past his man, a good little cutback. There was also one or two worrying moments when Liverpool tried to play into midfield, as they did very well in the first half. They had the extra player in there, and when Athletic Club went narrow, they gave the ball away 2 or 3 times, and it looked as though they were easy to counter-attack. That's something that Arne Slot's got to make sure it doesn't happen. If they give the ball away in those areas, they could be in trouble, because Kerkez wants to go forward, Frimpong wants to go forward. At times, Gravenberch was even going forward in the game. So that's the downside, and obviously didn't defend set plays well. But the plus side was the pace in which they played, the way they won the ball back in that first half, the combination between Frimpong and Mo Salah, and Gakpo scoring a couple of goals. So it was a good night's work for Liverpool, I would say.
To Stewie's point about the midfield Liverpool, at times it looks very light in terms of numbers, because you have guys that their first instinct is, once they regain possession of the ball, they're going forward. And it was impressive how quickly Frimpong gets forward, how quickly Mohamed Salah, and that combination is working really well. Florian Wirtz on the turn, he's going forward. Szoboszlai, he's joining in the attack. Ekitike, impressive as well. Then you get presence in the attack on the left-hand side by Gakpo and Kerkez, and you're thinking, man, when these guys win the ball, they're going. Here's the problem, though. It becomes a broken team at times and stretched. You got a back line and you got your 2 center backs, and then you got everybody else besides whoever is holding the line in the midfield. They're all going. A little light in the midfield, which then exposes them to counterattack opportunities. So this is something that I think they're going to have to address. You have a lot of attack-minded players. Do you have enough balance to account for potential counterattack opportunities from other teams? And if we're seeing it, teams that are preparing to play Liverpool in the upcoming season, they're seeing it as well. If you're able to break through that first line of pressure, they're light in numbers in the midfield, you can get after them in the attack.
A lot of speculation, of course. We've talked about it a lot, about the possibility of Isak making that move from Newcastle to Anfield. Eddie Howe addressed the situation once again, saying you have to earn the right to train with us. We are Newcastle United. The player has a responsibility here to be part of a team and part of a squad. You have to act the right way. So that is also at play here. No player can expect to act poorly and train with the group as normal. This is, of course, Isak, who didn't go on pre-season with Newcastle. They're back training now, and it's basically about what he needs to do for the team to get back and allowed to train. Is Eddie Howe handling this correctly?
Yeah, I love that. He's basically coming out and saying, Alexander Isak, if he thinks he can just walk back in and think nothing's happened, and he hasn't cause me or the team a problem and taking the focus off the team. That's what this statement's all about. I love it absolutely 100%. I think it sends the wrong message. If Eddie Howe was to come out and say, we're delighted he's back, you know, all is forgiven. No, you have to take responsibility, and the manager can't just cave in. He has to show.
It's not cutting off your nose, though, to spite your face, considering how much you need Isak. You want him to stay?
No, not at all. You're going to, I would assume, you're going to earn some respect from the player. Because the player was one. The player probably, at some stage, when he was away on his own, thinking, well, if it doesn't work out, they'll be glad I'm back. Well, Eddie Howe will obviously take him back, but he's just telling him, you need to respect us. It's not just about you, it's about the whole team.
Is this power play going to work, Robbo?
I think Eddie Howe's done the right thing. Whether it works or not, I think it's almost saying that Isak, you know, the relationship's going to be broken. Even if Isak comes back now, the crowd aren't going to be too impressed with him because he wants to go away from Newcastle, are fervent supporters. The other players will be very pleased that Eddie Howe has stood up, you know, to Stevie's point. The other players say, yeah, the manager's absolutely right. If this player thinks he doesn't want to play for us and he wants to go and do other things and he doesn't want to train properly, he's got to be disciplined. He can't just think he can walk back in and start joining in again and be our star player, because he won't be the star player because he hasn't trained properly for quite a while. It'll be 6 weeks before, or 4 or 5 weeks before he's fully fit. So it looks to me as though Eddie Howe and Newcastle may have to, at some point, think that Isak will go and get a big fee for him.
But Gab, when you've been on, you've talked about the fact that you don't think he's going to go.
I mean, I don't know for certain, but you asked me to speculate, and I'm speculating that he probably wouldn't go, simply because it's an enormous fee, because Liverpool, I think, have other needs, and because Liverpool went out and signed Ekitike. I mean, these are the basic reasons. You know, this whole earn the right to train with a team. I have a sneaking suspicion that if he's still a Newcastle player on September 1st, or if he signs a new contract, maybe one with a release clause, as I've mooted, all of a sudden he will have earned the right to train with his teammates once again. So I think Eddie Howe's saying the right things from his perspective. But if somehow this is somehow repaired, and I don't think it's impossible that it'll be repaired, I think things are going to be okay. Newcastle fans, or football fans in general, I know people like to lampoon fans and whatever. They're under no illusions. They live in the real world. They know that Alan Shearer said no to Manchester United and chose Newcastle, but he was kind of a one-off, right? Others are going to realize that if he's going to get an enormous amount of money, he's not from Newcastle. He moved there. They paid a huge fee to get him out of another club, to get him from Real Sociedad to Newcastle. And he's a professional footballer. And as long as he's there, I don't think they're going to turn on him or make his life hell or boo him at every turn. They may not love him the way they love some other players, but I think that's understandable. But I think Eddie Howe's playing this correctly for now. And I think if he does stick around, I think it's going to be business as usual on the football pitch anyway, for the season to come.
There were 2 games today. You had Liverpool A against Athletic Club A, and the reserves kind of side played before that. Darwin Nunez included in that reserve side, and he would score, Gab. Where are we with Darwin Nunez?
A lot of clubs are confident. Milan, of course, are one club that have been mentioned, that they feel he can contribute, because maybe not as a goal scorer, but as a guy who runs around, wreaks havoc. He puts in a shift. And to us, it's worth this much. And we know that every day that passes, he's going to get cheaper and cheaper. You would have to think that if Liverpool are seriously pushing, reports today of another, bid of £110 million knocked back for Isak, that they're going to have to recoup some of that money through the sale of Darwin Nunez. So I think it's what you're seeing right now is very much a game of chicken.
Yeah, you were sat here so smug when you sold Luis Diaz to Bayern Munich. This is how you do it. You bring players in for 30, sell them on for 70. Liverpool showing people like Manchester United how it should be done. Yeah. Darwin Nunez has been an absolute failure from day one in that sense, hasn't he?
Wow. What you want?
Well, you paid 75 million for him, and now you're trying to sell him to sell him to everyone, and nobody wants him.
Club signs player doesn't produce. Everybody gets it wrong.
You can't be sat there blowing
Everybody
you
gets
can't be
it wrong.
sat. Oh, everyone gets it one
Everybody,
time, so that's all right. Okay, all right then.
Well, let's go and look at what Fergie got wrong.
Oh my, right, God, let's get the black and white footage out, shall we?
Oh, sorry. All right, they made a mistake. Okay.
Right.
Is that what you want?
Well, yeah, I do want you to admit that they've made a massive mistake.
They made a mistake.
Oh, so go on, Gab.
They won a league title with Darwin Nunez as part of the forward rotation.
Oh, Gab,
So
you're not
did he live
helping
up
my
to-
cause. He
No.
was on the back foot. What are you doing? Don't jump in.
All I'm saying is, was he worth 75 million? No. Will they need to take a loss on it? I know you love it when I talk amortization. It gets you all excited. You know, the reality is they would need to get somewhere north of 30, 35 million not to lose money on it. They may get there, they may not, because he still has a couple years left on hefty wages. But, you know, I think, I know it's fun to mock Darwin Nunez, but you think you have to look at what he contributed to the team in the time he was there, and did the team win things? And yes, they did. They won.
Chiesa won the
title.
Chiesa won the title last season as well. Then.
Gab, you busted his bubble big time. He's not happy. You should see his face. He's nearly crying here.
It's weird, Ali, because when you think of Nunez and possibilities as to which clubs, you just for some reason Atletico Madrid is one of those that just keep popping up. But obviously they've spent their money elsewhere this summer.
Yeah, and that is a position that is heavily occupied. Julian Alvarez, my guy, Alexander Sorloth.
Sure.
And you're thinking, okay, well, where could he possibly go? But that is a matchup made in heaven. Simeone, Darwin Nunez, personalities, you need that sort of, you're thinking maybe Diego Costa ends up coming out of the soul of Darwin Nunez somewhere, somehow. Maybe that's what we're looking for if you're Darwin Nunez. But somehow I feel like the days of Darwin Nunez at Liverpool are not quite over just yet. And the reason I say that is you take the performance today of Hugo Ekitike, and I know the sample size is small, but it's encouraging enough to where if you're making decisions for Liverpool, financial decisions for Liverpool, you ask yourself, well, is it worth it for us to go chase Alexander Isak and pay the amount of money that we would have to pay for the player when we have a player in Hugo Ekitike who can do some of the same things that Alexander Isak can do? And we have a guy that we're already paying in Darwin Nunez that he's not going to start. The other guy will start, but he can be a valuable piece coming off the bench that maybe without all the pressure on him to be the guy can give you valuable minutes. I'm merely presenting a case that Liverpool don't have to chase Alexander Isak and that Darwin Nunez could be useful enough for them.
I agree with Ali 100%. Listen, if Liverpool have decided there's a figure, and if we don't get it, he stays, then, as Gab said, he scored some goals last season. When we've got the FA Cup, we've got the League Cup and all that coming around. So that's fine, yeah. Ali, you are 100% correct.
Well, thank you, Stevie.
You're welcome.
I don't want to know, Gab.
Come on, keep going with Darwin Nunez.
You really upset me.
Keep going with Darwin Nunez. Try again.
Nunez, of course.
Oh, but what do you think about Nunez?
Robert's got his own issues.
Well, Nunez is a good player, but he's lost his confidence.
Oh, not currently, Dan.
There's still a good player somewhere in there, but he's lost his confidence. Will he ever get that back at Liverpool? I don't think he will. So he'll probably have to go elsewhere to reproduce the form that he showed before he came. But he's still a decent player.
United 2, Everton 2 is how it finished in that tie. This one, Bruno Fernandes had to say after the game he's not happy. We didn't want to finish this way. Our performance wasn't the best and we were a little bit lazy today. We want to avoid that because with laziness, you can pay at any moment. Hopefully, we can add one or two more players.
What?
Robert, what do you make of a teammate coming out and saying that we need more players?
As long as he was talking about himself as well, you know, that's it, he's talking about a we rather than they. He's the skipper. He's the player. He's the person that can be truthful. Sometimes the truth doesn't always help the team. We heard the manager last season keep telling the truth. They were a poor side and they didn't do this and they didn't do that. It didn't inspire them. I'm not sure that Bruno Fernandes is inspiring the other players at the moment by calling them lazy and saying that we need to be better. They obviously need to be better. They've needed to be better for 2 or 3 years. At the moment, Manchester United need every confidence they can muster. They've got to get players playing at their very best. They've got to get the best out of the 2 new players that come in. They've got to get the best out of every player that's at Manchester United. And they're going to have to work hard. They're going to have to be disciplined. They're going to have to take on board what the manager wants. But I can't see it's going to help Manchester United too much by Bruno Fernandes calling the players lazy in the last pre-season game.
Isn't this what we've been calling for, Stevie? Someone to be a leader within the dressing room, to take that responsibility, to tell these players, to shape them, to get them back into some sort of a gear?
Yes, but you just said it, in the dressing room.
Right.
Not in public, not in the media. Absolutely not. You know, when you're a player and you're asked, whether you're a senior player, the captain or whatever, when you're asked about signings or bringing players in, you don't even answer. It's nothing to do with you. You just bat it away. So no criticism in the media by anybody to their own players or any part of the club is acceptable. If you've got a problem, if you've got something to say, then you do it inside the dressing room or in the appropriate place, the boardroom, whatever it may be. But you don't do it in the media. It's 100% a no-no.
I'm willing to accept, barely, but I'm willing to accept that Bruno Fernandes is in a position in which he can address the performance of the team and say, we were lazy today. Fine. That's your assessment of the game. That's your evaluation of the game. So be it. But when you take it as far as we need 1 or more 2 players or whatever the amount of players that they need, now you're taking on a role that is not your responsibility. Now you're taking on a role of somebody who apparently has all the answers as to what's wrong with this club, and do what I tell you, and we're going to move forward, and we're actually going to do the things that we need to do and be successful because I came up with these thoughts and these ideas. That's when he's crossing a line, in my estimation. Look, you want to assess the team, evaluate the team, and say you were lazy? Well, so be it. But those players that you're referring to as lazy, quote unquote, and then those players that you're suggesting need to be substituted by the 1 or 2 players that need to be signed, those are the guys that you need to be talking to, not to us to tell you that we need more help. I think we can all understand that they need help, but it's not his place to be doing that.
Taking a look at its final comment, of course, that 1 or 2 players are needed, Gab. Sesko. Why did you make that noise?
Because we've been talking about Benjamin Sesko far too long.
Apparently has shown willing to go to Newcastle and Manchester United, Gab.
Yeah, I think he's kind of been at Leipzig long enough, and that's kind of his view, and he feels he's ready for the next step. And when you get such a veiled endorsement from Manchester United. Director of football, head of recruitment, Bruno Fernandes. No, I'm kidding. This is what they're working on. They're talking about some sort of swap deal involving Rasmus Højlund. I won't bore you by bringing up amortization again, but I think it's difficult for United because they're going to take a hit on this unless they can, really get a high valuation for Højlund in this deal, which then creates issues for Sesko the other way. I think Leipzig would take Højlund as kind of like a reclamation project. The thing about Sesko is he has this incredible skill set where he's tall, but he's also very athletic, and technically he's good. He's coming off a nightmare season. Can he lead the line on his own as a young player, at Old Trafford in a team that needs to bounce back? I don't know. It's a big ask. He would need a lot of support from the players around him, and of course from his coach. But clearly he's an upgrade over what they have.
Robbo, as painful as your knee surgery's been, it can't have been as painful as talking about Benjamin Sesko as we had for the last month. Are you surprised that a player of his quality is getting this much attention?
A little bit. I mean, he's a good player, and Gab just said he's got all the attributes to be an excellent player. But at the moment, he's not an excellent player. He's a good player. So I'm surprised that so many people have been interested in him. He did score goals last year. He led the line quite well, but he often had other players in good support of him. I don't think, and Gab's question was, would he be good enough for Manchester United to lead the line and take all the responsibility? I would say probably not. So it wouldn't be, I don't think it'd be an absolutely great signing for Manchester United if they got him.
Ahead of the start of the new season, we've been asking everybody for their Premier League picks. And you take a look at Gab, we'll talk about his number 1 pick as well in a moment, but take a look at number 6, Manchester United, Gab. What is it you think that's going to change so dramatically this season?
I was kind of going through the process of elimination here, in the fact that I really don't like any of Tottenham's signings.
Right.
Villa, of course, have done very, very little. I mean, somebody's got to finish sixth. They can't possibly be as awful as they were last year. Bournemouth, could they surprise us? Well, no, because they sold their entire defense, right? So I put these things together. Could Brighton pull it out of the hat again? Possibly. And I'm thinking Brighton or United, and I said, yeah, look, have United been this bad for consecutive years ever? No, or not that I can remember, but maybe they have many years ago. So why not Ruben Amorim to turn it around and sneak into sixth place?
Let's talk about first then, shall we? Manchester City, Gab, what's your case?
My case for Manchester City is this. They finished the season strong. I actually like the Reinders signing and the Ryan Cherky signings. I think, again, process of elimination. I don't think that since United, nobody has repeated as champions. Except for Manchester City, obviously, who won 1 million in a row. So that would be my argument against Liverpool. There's a deep, deep turnover of players at Liverpool with a coach who's in his second season. And again, as we often see, having won the league, inevitably your focus shifts a little bit to the Champions League the following year. Arsenal, I think Arsenal will be better, but I'm not on board with the Gyökeres signing. I would have used the money in a different way. And again, Arsenal, another team where that is quite a bit of upheaval. If you believe in that spine argument through the middle, they'll be better with Zubimendi. They'll presumably be better with Gyökeres or Havertz, whoever he chooses up front. But City are a really, really good team, and they were really good in the second half of last season. So I expect Pep to regain his mojo.
They did lose the FA Cup final, Gab.
Who did?
Manchester City.
What, Manchester City against Palace? Yeah, but so what? It's the FA Cup. Who cares? I mean,
Okay.
we're talking
all right.
over the course of a season.
Right, I see.
They lost the FA Cup final.
Yes.
Sure.
Well, I'm just saying, you've said they finished the season
anybody's
amazingly. Well, they did lose their final game against Palace.
But if you look, we're talking about the Premier League, not cup competitions. If we look in the Premier League, if you look at who got the most points, admittedly, once Liverpool took their foot off the gas in sort of the final months of the season, it was City were coming on.
Wasn't it Chelsea as well, though, Gab? Weren't Chelsea up there as well when it comes to the final couple of months?
I believe City were ahead of them, but sure, yes, Chelsea as well. I just think Chelsea have to come from further behind because top to bottom, I think Manchester City, I hope Chelsea fans don't hate me for saying this, I think Manchester City have better players than Chelsea, and they probably have, at this time, a better manager, even though they're both bald.
Don't worry about it, Gab. He's just annoyed with you because of Darwin Nunez.
Clearly.
Now, just one last question on your predictions. The team that's going to finish third is going to have the best player in the league.
Yeah, why not?
Because I think that rarely happens.
Doesn't it?
Tell me when it's last happened.
Well, when Steve Nicol was Player of the Year, Liverpool finished third.
No way, Liverpool.
That's my reference point. No, look, I think it's going to be a really close-fought league. I think Bukayo Saka, if he stays fit, he took time off last year with the pieces they put around him, he can be devastating. What, you want me to pick a City player? You want me to pick Florian Wirtz? I think, again, it's difficult to repeat. Right. So I went for two guys in Haaland and Saka. Sure, it could be Mo Salah again. Look at my crystal ball. Dude, it's August 4th, and you're asking me to make these predictions.
You've gone from 0 to 60 very quickly here.
Very angry. Very
angry. You're
very
the bear, man.
And very red as well.
Very red.
Meanwhile, Stuart Robson may be a little more traditional in his picks. Let's take a look at how he thinks the top
Definitely
six
not as red.
in the Premier League. He's got Liverpool, Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Newcastle and Spurs. Erling Haaland's be his top scorer, Declan Rice to be player of the year. Let's start off with Liverpool. What about what Gab's saying about the turnaround in the squad, Stevie? Robbo, that could prove to be a problem.
Yeah, I don't think it will be a problem. I think the they've got the basis of the side. It's a turnaround in some of the front areas. I think they're still going to be a very good team from what I've seen so far in pre-season. They're playing some dynamic football. We talked about how they could be exposed on the counter-attack, but I think they're the team that will go into the season with full of confidence. They're a team that look fit and hungry, and I think they will continue to play very, very well and win the title.
Yeah, you've got Declan Rice as your player of the year. Did you do that last year as well?
So I should have had a Liverpool player. But I'm going to say that I pick a player who will be the most effective for his team. And I would say the most important player.
What's going on? No, that's not how it works, Robbo. It's who will be player of the year.
In my world, it does. In my world, it works like that.
Oh, yeah, that's how it all kind of comes together. Where have you got Manchester United then?
About halfway up the league. I just don't see them improving. I don't care what Ruben Amorim says about, his system and he's going to get it right and he just needs the players to fit into the system. I'm seeing the players he's bringing in. I'm seeing what he did last year. It wasn't so much the system, it was the philosophy of how they tried to play out from the back and they didn't do it very well, and how they tried to get it into midfield areas. I couldn't see what he was trying to do last season, and I can't see that's going to improve this season. He had a long, long time to improve it last season, and I don't think they're going to get much better this season.
Gab says Spurs have bought a load of rubbish, yet you've got them finishing 6th, Robbo.
Yeah, but they've got a good manager, and I think they've got some decent signings. I think they have got enough in the attacking areas. I think they will be better defensively. I think he will get a better spirit amongst the players. And I think Spurs, not a great side, but they'll creep into that top 6 position because by powers of elimination, I'm not sure about some of the other teams that we've been talking about, like Brighton. They won't. They can't be consistent enough to stay in that top 6. I think the same with Bournemouth and others. Aston Villa, I don't think will be quite as good this year as they were the last couple of years. So that's why I've got Spurs in there.
You're all still out there.
Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Ali and Stevie here in the studio. We also welcome Robbo, who's having some lighting issues, which you might say. Robbo, you're okay, yes? Because you don't look the best.
Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine, Dan, yeah.
There we are, good old Casper. And then very much at the other end of the spectrum, there's Gab, of course.
Yes,
and we've got used to Gab's tan.
We need to find balance between the two of you.
Does anyone want to come on? You're more than welcome to come and say hello. There you go. There's one.
Come on,
Burley's up.
Come on, here we go.
All right. What's up, buddy? Come on this way.
Beautiful.
Come around here. Come around here.
All right, lads, how you doing?
There you go. Yeah, just in time for the.
Right, yeah.
Come on, get the clan in.
Hello, mate. How are you?
Hello, how's it going? The whole squad, how you doing?
I'm so sorry, man. Oh my.
You can go around.
Gracious me. Imagine that. Yeah, there
you
is.
go.
Hey. Okay, beautiful. So, all right, that's enough now. That's it. Let's get on with some questions, shall we? That's it. Good. Hey. Right, well, you weren't on it. Trey got really angry today because everyone was replying all to emails.
Yes,
It's quite funny.
Robbo wasn't happy.
Where was the family then to
Not
keep him happy?
He's late. There's something wrong with his lighting. Not a happy camper.
Oh, there we are. Wonderful. Oh,
See ya. Cheers.
Look at them.
See ya.
Look at them too.
Ta-da.
All right.
I bet you all wish you were here. What a moment. Okay. Right, should we go on with some... I don't know which questions first, actually, in the way this has been printed. Oh, no, it's this awful question to start. Gab, who is the most financially healthy club in Italy?
What? Bring the kids back.
Craig.
Bring the kids back. I want Craig to be here.
So, from a financial sustainability, no. But actually, weirdly, while a number of big clubs, obviously, I think everybody knows, Juventus, Inter, Roma, they've all faced financial sustainability sanctions. They've all had to sign settlement agreements with UEFA. There's actually a number of clubs that run at or close to break even every year. Napoli, for many years, made a profit. I don't know. I don't think they made one last year, although they may this year because obviously they won the title. Milan, again, the last couple of years, when they were run by Elliott, were running a small profit year on year. Although again, this coming season with no European football, that may change. Atalanta, of course, have also been a model of having success on the pitch and also on the balance sheet. So yeah, Udinese, another club which have qualified for Europe time and again. So yeah, there are clubs that manage to do it. I think the problem is once clubs do it for a while, then they're like, oh wait, let's overextend a little bit so we can go and win the Champions League or whatnot, and that's when things start to unravel. But there are a number of clubs who've been in a decent situation, mostly through player trading.
Robbo, your thoughts?
Well, I was just falling asleep then. I'm sorry. I must wake up.
Yeah,
very good answer.
I had problem with my thing. Could you see that again, Gav? I had problem with my earpiece.
I've never wanted Craig to come back any more than I did today. And
What's going on today? Gab, whatever happened to FSG being open to selling interest in Liverpool or else themselves looking to invest and acquire another club? I feel like both scenarios were talked about a lot last year, but did running away with the title quiet all that? Whatever happened to pineapple on pizza?
What?
Oh.
We must have the most sensible people watch this show. How's that?
In terms of FSG, Liverpool's owners looking to acquire another club, I think that project is still alive and well. They've spent most of the last year looking at it. I think they looked at Malaga. They looked at a number of other clubs in different leagues. I don't think they've abandoned that idea, but it has to be the right opportunity, obviously. And in terms of the owners looking to sell all or part of the club, they put a valuation on it, which memory serves was £3 billion pounds, which investors simply said too high. I'm not going to give John W. Henry £300 million for 10% of Liverpool, and then I don't have a say, and all I get is an autographed Mo Salah shirt. Like that's too high a valuation, or it was. That's what the market said. So I think with the club doing well, they realized they didn't need to drop their valuation necessarily and attract investment. So I think that's been shelved for now.
Ali, here we go. It's on the back
Back to normal.
Will Son or Muller have more of a real impact on MLS?
I'm going to say Son.
Well,
I believe his game and what he brings to LAFC is more suited to the needs and wants of Major League Soccer and LAFC, whereas Thomas Muller is a very nuanced player. Certainly right now at this point in his career, you really have to appreciate the little things that he does to make an impact on a game that perhaps are not nearly as easily seen or appreciated. And so I think Son has more left in his legs as well than Thomas Muller does. But what is true for both of them is that they both need to stay fit and healthy and be available to play in what can be a very crowded schedule in Major League Soccer.
Steve, you agree?
Yeah, 100%.
Dan, did you get to see the England-India test final day? Oh, it was early. I didn't get up
I wish
early
I'd seen
for
it.
Why?
Because he got beat.
But you like England to win cricket.
I don't know, against certain teams, but
No.
I was glad.
So you want them to beat Australia, but when they
Yes.
play India, you
Yeah, it's
you
weird
don't mind.
that. Yeah.
Basically, we had 4 wickets remaining.
I
And,
like when they win the Ashes. I don't like.
and in England, in cricket, you can't have substitutions. So Chris Woakes had to come out in a sling and play one-handed. And
One-handed.
surprise, surprise, we lost. Is that about right, Robbo?
It is. I mean, going into the morning's play, you expected the England players to go and win the game.
Yes.
But Siraj bowled really well. He got a wicket, I think, in his first over. And from that moment on, England were always in trouble. And the people that don't understand cricket won't quite understand this. The ball was hooping around. It was swinging all over the place. It was almost impossible to play normal cricket for a batsman. And as soon as you saw that, India were going to be favourites to win, and they did.
There we go.
And it was right for the series to be drawn. It was a great series, played in a very good spirit. There was a few niggles, but what a test series it was.
Yeah, it was very entertaining.
Very English, that, isn't it?
What's that?
Very English from Robbo.
What?
Played in a good spirit.
and it finished in a draw. How exciting.
Yeah, brilliant.
All right,
I
Carl.
understood none of that, by the way.
Hey, that's all right. Robbo's very good at analysis. Stevie, if you were Manchester United manager, which position and player specifically would you target to recruit next?
You're going to take over Bruno Fernandes?
I mean, why wouldn't they have gone for somebody like Paulinho?
Say again?
Why did they not go? Why did they not go for somebody like Paulinho, who they probably would have got, who was great at Fulham, who you know exactly what you're going to get, wouldn't have broken the bank. Why would they not gone for somebody like that?
Because then you'd have two guys in midfield who can't pass the ball rather than just one.
Well,
And
Gav,
one who
the
doesn't
problem
run.
Man United have is they can't get the ball. So I think it's like you got to take one step at a time. You need a guy who's going to win it and then give it and do it consistently, and he's got to particularly stop the opposition getting at you. I mean, those are the biggest problems. I agree that he's not exactly fancy down on the ball, but they need to just try and win some games by hook or by crook and get somebody in the middle of the park that can actually stop the opposition from getting at the back four. That is my basic point.
Were you fancy on the ball, Dan?
Still am fancy, Ali.
Okay, on the ball.
Everywhere in
All
life.
right, okay, just in general.
Stevie, Ben Doak has had an excellent game today.
It's Doak.
Oh, Doak, I'm sorry.
Right. Doak.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, well.
I do beg your pardon.
Honestly, Doak.
Oh, wow.
He's only
He said
he's
to me
only an
earlier,
international who's been at Liverpool for what, like 2 years, but sure.
he said to me before the show for an argument, what do you know about Doak? I was like, who's he? I have no idea who you're talking about.
I'm very intrigued now to see what you're going to say about him.
Well, again, you're talking about the kid earlier on, the 16-year-old.
What position does he play?
Doak. He's wide attacking midfielder.
Okay. How old is he?
I think he's about 20, is he?
I don't know. You're the expert.
19 or 20.
Oh, I'm certainly not an expert then.
Well, you're talking as if you are.
No, but what was the question again?
Stop buying time. Doak, is he any good?
I'm trying to read the question. So, listen, for him to get better, he's got to play. And for him to get better and play, he has to go on loan. But Andy Slot has got to be careful because Liverpool are going to have a lot of games this year. So they can't let everybody go out on loan. They've got a lot of good young players, but unfortunately they're going to have to keep some of them. So it depends on Andy Slot, really, whether Doak stays or goes.
We were talking about Darwin Nunez earlier.
Yeah.
And you were laughing because Gab was...
Well, because you were looking to pile on and nobody piled on with you.
Would you swap him for Rashford?
No.
You wouldn't?
No. Absolutely not. No, thank you.
Gab, why are Atalanta being so difficult with the Lookman deal to Inter?
Because they were extremely difficult a year ago with the Cup Miners to Juventus deal, and they got a whole load of more money out of Juve as a result. The guy has a contract. I mean, the latest with Lookman, he's injured right now. He's supposed to go into the club to do rehab. Obviously, he didn't show up. He wasn't there. This comes onto the back of him deleting all these pictures of him in an Atalanta jersey from his Instagram post, which is pretty passive aggressive. And he's trying to force a move. Atalanta holding out for a price, and it's going head to head. I think the difference between this and the Cup Miners situation is, I don't think Inter are as desperate or determined to get Lookman. I mean, they would love to have Lookman, obviously, as Juventus were to get Cup Miners last year, and that's why this may end up blowing up in Atalanta's faces. But hey, look, the strategy worked a year ago. The man has a contract. You're holding out for a price. Why not?
Ali, do you think the Leagues Cup has been interesting and entertaining?
No. It's been confusing. It's been...
The Leagues Cup, by the way, something that's going on at the moment here in these states, where it's MLS against Liga MX. You've got 18 MLS sides in one league. You've got 18 Liga MX sides in another league. 3 matches take place between those 2 leagues.
Yeah.
And then whoever's got the most points, the top 4, then qualify for the knockout stages. But you don't play the same people.
Correct. And that in itself, the 30 seconds that you just took there to explain Leagues Cup, that was confusing. And the whole...
And it was a great explanation.
No, it's not you. You're not the issue. Beautiful. It's just the format of this competition seems to just be thrown at the wall and see what works. The whole idea that we have to clarify whenever they go into penalty kick shootout. Well, this is for that valuable extra point. That could be the difference, I guess, between you being 5th and 4th and then going on to the quarterfinals. It seems like they're trying to jam as many teams as possible so that they can please both Liga MX and MLS. And the teams from Liga MX, all of the teams from Liga MX are participating in this competition. Whereas in MLS, it's not all of the MLS teams. And that in itself is like, wait a minute. So they all get to play, but we don't. Look, it's really difficult to get behind a tournament that it's hard to understand.
Final question. How much of Rashford's success, Robert, this season will be due to being surrounded by teammates like Lamine Yamal, Rafinha and Lewandowski versus his performance actually improving tremendously?
I'm sure he will improve, but he's got to improve his own attitude. He's got to improve his own work rate. He's got to improve his own consistency. And I think at a club like Barcelona, he won't be able to get away with it if he doesn't show those sort of attributes. At Manchester United, for a couple of years, he seemed to be able to get away with doing what he wanted to until Amorim chucked him out. He's got to go to Barcelona now, show everybody there that he's keen, he's enthusiastic, he's fully fit, and he will get chances because they're playing in a lot of games this season. One or two of those players that you mentioned will get injured at some point and then get a chance. He's got to make sure he takes it.
How's your knee recovery going, Robbo?
Very good. It's 2.5 weeks, so I can walk without crutches.
Yeah.
I can go up and down stairs. I've been out for a few walks outside, so yeah, it's all going very well at the moment.
Well, that's I'm sure you've been an absolute pleasure to be with.
Well, it haven't been sunny days when he's walked outside.
It's
You
only
don't
when
have
I
any
can't do the
sunny days,
technical side of this that causes me concern.
Well, yeah, you got angry, didn't you? But fortunately, your picture is crystal clear today,
Yes,
Robbo.
absolutely.
It's
It worked
perfect.
really well.
That's it.
Can I make a request
Yes.
for the next extra time, whenever
Yes.
that may be,
Yes.
tomorrow?
Yeah.
Can we go back to the spirit of this segment rather than whatever those questions were?
I am not in charge of
Look,
that.
I don't mind God giving an explanation, but man, 3 explanations.
We had the Burley family in. It's been all go.
I'll take the Burley family above those questions.
I just wanted to ask Stevie a question. Does he ever think it's right that players like Isak not putting the full effort in? We heard about Lookman not turning up for rehab. Does he think right that any player should sort of almost go on strike to go and join another club?
I don't understand it. I'm trying to remember. The only person I can remember that actually got a move because of that, and it wasn't just that he was out for a couple of weeks,
was Virgil van Dijk when he left Southampton,
Yes.
refused to play for Southampton.
Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah.
So it's okay
Yeah.
for everybody else.
Yeah.
Wrong for everybody
That's
else.
not why.
No,
That's not why
forget
they
he's
let
here
him go.
and tell Van Dijk to go on.
It was on strike.
That's not
Van
why
Dijk
they
was
let
on
him-
strike.
but that's
So
not
it was
why
all
they
right
let
with
him
Van Dijk.
go.
That's it, not when anyone else. Well done, Robbo.
No, it's
I
got
like what you
it's
did
got
there.
nothing to
That
do.
is it.
It's got
ESPN
nothing to
FC.
do
Darwin
with
Nunez!
See you screen tomorrow.
Nunez, come back.